what's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Thriller as I try to play catching up with my Impact Wrestling review and what pertains to catching up reviews and all that. Unfortunately, because I'm working, um, it's gonna be a little difficult for me to do reviews and all that. But I'm gonna try my absolute best to to do so. And I still need to do some New Japan Pro Wrestling, catching up as well. And so, um, also I gotta do AW as well. So I guess it is what it is for those type of situations. But this will be your Impact Wrestling review, the show from May 27th, 2021. The commentators were unfortunately Josh Matthews there and D'Lo Brown. Not fortunate for D'Lo Brown. It's fortunate for D'Lo Brown, but it's unfortunate for the return of Josh Matthews because Matt Striker was on an assignment, whatever the fuck that means. That's the same shit that WWE does with their commentators too. Tom Phillips is not there. He's on assignment. Marvin Ronaldo's not there. He's on assignment. It's the whole having an assignment bullshit that they always pull out. And I can't believe Impact Wrestling, Impact Wrestling doing this thing too. Now, what assignment is Matt Striker doing? I have no idea. But it's been 3 weeks so far. He's been on this assignment for by going to somewhere else, and took his place as Josh Matthews. So I made the decision to not watch Impact Wrestling live ever again. Pertains to on Twitch and everything, and as in this I could asked for a better way to not watch live that much anymore because after hearing about Josh Matthews coming back on there. Now he wasn't terrible, he wasn't boring me, so yeah, still doesn't make it any better, but I am glad that I don't watch it on live anymore because that part would have been more boring and more tiresome for me to sit through. So in a way, I'm kind of glad I stopped watching live. Either way, I still won't be able to watch it live anyways because I'll be working. So so it is what it is. But enough of that. Let's just get right into this review. Because Josh Matthews is not the big problem that I had with on the show here. There's other things I have a problem with the show, but we'll get to that. So the opening match. Yeah, bear with me here, folks, because this site is being a dick. Just the way it is acting. Okay, just making sure how the show open up here. Okay, but he's got to do that shit. So Sam Callahan comes out first. He cuts a promo. He's sitting in the middle of the ring with he's got a steel chair, and he sees the bullcrap of since that's been going on since Kenny Omega came to Impact Wrestling, especially with when Don Callis being his manager and all that, being the executive and all that. And he basically calling out Kenny Omega. All of a sudden, Moose comes out instead, and Callahan is extremely upset. He's displeased. Moose gets on the microphone and says to Sam Callahan that that he's not the normal contender for the title. Moose is, and basically just let him know what that you're not allowed to call out Kenny Omega, because at the end of the day it's going to be Moose versus Kenny Omega against all odds. So then all of a sudden the Good Brothers comes out. Why they came out, I have no idea. Because they start acting all weird. Praise the Lord, that God bless, whatever, something like that. Next thing we're gonna hear him say peace to the asylum. But anyways, but the Good Brothers was sucking up to Moose and everything. Basically they agree with Moose and everything about what was said. And then Moose was being on good side with them too, acknowledging that you know that he support them. Um, but he acknowledged that he doesn't like the Good Brothers. He's not on their side. Beats them up along with Sami Callihan. Beats up the Good Brothers. And then this will lead to a match later on. And we'll get to that because they went backstage. All of a sudden, Don Callis proposed a match for later. He's gonna talk to Scott D'Amore about that. Or in his way, he doesn't have to talk to him about it because he can make matches too because he's the executive uh vice president or the producer, whatever. Um, so he's even though he's not that anymore, which it's been happening for that was talked about, I guess, a month ago, I think, that he's no longer in control of behind the scenes anymore. But still doesn't mean he can't be part of Impact Wrestling because he's obligated to just do some dates with because the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. So GM finds Don Callis, asking him about the match. Okay, so yeah, so he's the executive vice president. Um, you know, but not anymore though. On screen he is the executive vice president, but off screen he's no longer the executive vice president anymore. Um, I don't remember. The story was that he was he didn't renew his contract or something. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, you can look it up to find out yourselves. But basically, the EVP, the other EVP, I should say, and Scott D'Amore, is letting him know that pertains to the tag team match, he wasn't he's not he was not thinking that it was good that he did the match while his consent, like it's supposed to be a team and everything, right? To talk about things and all that, and they're the Golden Bookers basically. Basically like Ken Omega and Kota Ibushi, the Golden Lovers. So that's basically what it was. So, but yeah, there you go. Basically, there's some dissensions from Scott D'Amore and Don Callis. So we get to this. This tag team match that features TJP and Fall Out Bob versus Petey Williams and the X Division champion Josh Alexander. The match I thought was pretty decent, and in the end, it was a very decent match. And this is Fall Out Bob. I think this is his first match back since they've been doing nothing with him basically, but in the end, it was TJP and Fall Out Bob getting the win. So, and TJP got the win by the way, not Fall Out Bob. But Miller also she basically like I said, decent match and all that, and we'll get to more of what happened later on. With those guys. Gia Miller sits down with W. Morrissey, the former Big Cass. So this was a very good interview by the way, especially a very good promo from W. Morrissey. So this is what he had to say, and I was focused on this promo. I was focused on him. I was focused on this interview of how this ends up being a shoot promo too. Basically blending the lines of fictional and reality. So this is what he had to say. Pertains to to him portraying his character, but pertains to his character, he's making that character being the real person behind the scenes and all that, and basically what happened with him during his low points. So he says, basically he has a lot, mostly has a lot to say about the industry and learning how to resurrect his career. Talks about how the seizure he had during one of the matches, which that was true by the way, and how the fans will rather take pictures and record him of that instead of calling for help, calling for an ambulance or whatever. And he was very intense in this poem too, by the way, because he's if you see that intensity of him, you could tell that bar you could also tell where potential the intensity behind this whole thing that he's doing. You could tell that bothered him, where he could have died. But to be honest with you, because seizures are no joke, folks. So he's sick. He is sick and tired of the fans and his fellow colleagues as well, you know, and how they portray a uh facade on the on that he's better off than before. He doesn't understand why they couldn't be there for him through the good times and bad, which is he's doing a shoot there too to those to to a certain people that don't were friends and all that. And he doesn't care that he attacked, and that this is where he goes to his his promo where it tends to into the storyline, where it tends to Willie Mack. So he doesn't care that he attacked Willie Mack and his best friend Rich Swan, but basically he talked about Rich Swan basically, and he wanted to let everyone know he wants the last laugh and he's going to get it. And he's looking at us dead in the basically he's looking at the camera, basically looking at us dead in the eyes and everything. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Rich Swan attacks W. Morrissey. Prior to happening on last time, when W. Morrissey attacked Rich Swan during his interview, which was I had a jump scare for that when that happened, and then here, I experienced another jump scare here, this time from Rich Swan, and it was played out very well. Just like on last time, when Rich Swan got attacked, that played out very well. And then this one, it played out very well too, with W. Morrissey getting where the tables turning on him, and there was a pool part of this fight afterwards. So, but yeah, it was pretty good though, pretty good interview and pretty good jump start I got once again. I was, I, I was so scared. Something that just happened. It really got me jumping. like holy shit, like kind of like that. So you could tell that's gonna be the match for against all odds. So we take a look at the knockouts division and how they revolutionized the women's wrestling, and they talk about how the 10 of the best knockouts will collide in a tag team match, which it will feature Rosemary, Tina Ashwood, Havoc, Rachel Ellering, and it was supposed to be Taylor Wilde, but we'll get to why it wasn't her. So basically they'll all be in the interview, but Taylor Wilde wasn't there for whatever reason. Um, Basically, Tina Ashwood and Cable K was trying to play off something like that they didn't know anything about it or they didn't give her the memo or whatever. Also, George Grace shows up, and basically, Rachel Ellering is like, you want to, how about you take her place? And then, Jordan Grace is like, oh, so I'm a substitute and everything, and then, basically trying to, do this whole weird, dissension between Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering, especially where it tends to, Cable K and Tina Dashwood trying to stir the pot and everything between the two, which I don't understand why they're doing that. Are they trying to turn Jordan Grace heel here? Because I don't want that to happen. I'm not saying she could be not trying to say she'll be bad at it. I think she'll be good. She's got the the woman mannerisms in a way. Um, and on top of that, I really don't want to see a tag team breaking up. We already went through that with Havoc and Nevaeh, which you all know why that happened. Um, but I don't want to go through another one again with this whole thing. Especially when you just booked we just put together Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But Jordan Grace as a you're accepting the offer. So we get to this match. Tina Ashwood being accompanied with Caleb K, Rosemary, Havoc, Rachel Ellering, and Jordan Grace versus the Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo, Kimberly, Susan. The Knockouts Tag Team champions Fire and Flavor, which is Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. And match I thought it was alright. Except for Susan. But in the end, it was Rosemary, Havoc, Tina Ashwood, or Rachel Ellering, and Jordan Grace winning because the other teams were fighting one another because a miscommunication there. So Deonna Purrazzo ends up getting the loss there by Rosemary, which this gives Rosemary an opportunity for a title shot against Deonna Purrazzo against All Odds, which that's another filler for the Knockouts champion until she gets to face Taylor Wilde at Summerversary. So there you go. And basically, the teams that had miscommunication there was Kimberly, Susan, and with Fire and Flavor. So there you go. And you can tell from there where it's gonna lead to there. And I'm pretty sure for those who watch the show, yeah, I know where it led to. So apparently, the Impact Wrestling Plus moment of the week was Bobby Roode versus Eric Young from January 12th, 2016. I think I remember seeing that one. So, but then again, any moments of the week that show is greatest moments and all that, which is on the Twitch, live and everything. It's whatever, and I don't watch it anymore anyway. So, on Twitch because they, unless they did something different there, I don't know, but I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that chance. Scott Demoy, Scott Demoy, books a match because he sees Josh Alexander and TGP, having a little discussion backstage, and Scott Demoy said, they're gonna have a 60-minute Iron Man match on before the Impact, and I'm like, yeah, I watched the show. I watched that show because of that. So which I did. So we'll get to that when we get to it. On the next review of that is so. But yeah, I'm very excited to see that. I was excited to see that match, and I'll let you know how I feel about that match once we get to that match. Once I get to the next review of it. So then we get to Jake Something and Ray Rajul. We take a look back at their friendship, and I had no idea they were even a tag team during the time in the Indies. Before they signed with Impact Wrestling. And yeah, basically, apparently they were a tag team, and they were good friends. Which is going to lead to their to the build up of their match. Not against all odds though, but for the next review when I get a chance to do that. Now I'm assuming it was the next one, but I got reverse memory once I get to that next review, but we'll see. But yeah, I love it though. I love the video package. I love and you also had the interview between the two guys as well. On that same video package and everything. So Jake Something versus Great Rajul is gonna happen, and it's gonna be a tables match. And I thought this was a very good build up, and you had the intensity from Rick Rajul, and then you had Jake Something, you know, where it tends to he felt like he got screwed over for someone who thought who was a friend of his, and yeah, I loved it. I thought it was pretty good, and I was excited to see the match too. And these guys, they joke out together. Even during that time when the Desi Hit Squad versus the Deaners happened, they had good chemistry there at the time. And the fact that they're doing this 1-on-1, feud between the two, it showed they had good chemistry. And I had no idea what the chemistry that was gonna have with that until they showed me the video package that about what's been going on with them before they got to Impact Wrestling. So. Viper Design, they address the Impact roster, because they are the Impact Tag Team Champions, where it tends to Joe Doring and Rhino defeating Finjuice before they went to Japan. And basically, Eric was going to promo on all that, which was a very good promo, explaining how Divine by Design has saved, their careers towards the great heights, like winning the tag team titles. Describe how, the Rationalists was Joe Doring, Rhino, and Diener. Were on, how basically they were on the wrestling list until Eric Young met them. And the world class maniac says, Eric Young, said that every place on earth will belong to them. By design, an army in the making, but they promise they will take over. And all of a sudden, we get New Japan Pro Wrestling star, the sensational one himself, Satoshi Kojima. And he comes out, and he basically said to Joe Doring, against all odds, which means it's going to be Joe Doring versus Kojima, two former All Japan wrestlers from the All Japan Pro Wrestling, with the All Japan rivalries. It's going to happen at against all odds, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to see that too, by the way, folks. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, Kojima. And his English, he speaks very well English. I mean, I heard him speak a little English before over in Japan, but But on here, he spoke. He spoke. Obviously, he spoke a little bit too here as well. But yeah, he speak good English there. So hmm. Impact's medical doctor informs Gia Miller that Matt Cardona will be out of action for 12 weeks, which is bullshit because the reason why they did this angle where Matt Cardona was taken out by Brian Myers is for Matt Cardona, to have a match in the Indies with Nick Gage. Well, all I can say to Matt Cardona, good luck to you. Hopefully, it doesn't cut you with a light bulb. But Brian Myers basically said, "Son, I can't remember how he said it, but he's upset that that he's gonna be gone for 12 weeks or whatever." And all of a sudden, Sam Beal comes out of nowhere. The same Sam Beal who's with Trey Miguel. We're changing him being trained over there, in Trey Miguel's gym, whatever, or school, whatever. And Brian Myers is like how dare you interrupt my discussion with some of that. I can't remember how it was, but basically, and Scott Beal was a little intimidated, and then Brian Myers said, "But you know what you did was unprofessional, but I can teach you how to be professional." And yeah, so basically they have Sam Beal to link up with Brian Myers, which they did segments for that too, which we'll get to when we get to on those other reviews for Impact Wrestling. So. Well, after that sound is done now, Joe Doring, accepts the challenge to Satoshi Kojima, and then all of a sudden, Decay comes out of nowhere. Basically, they're on their way to the ring, and Cody Deaner, Deaner, he was upset that they was gonna, walk past them, while they're doing like a promo or whatever, it's not that. And then Decay's letting them know that we're next and everything, so you're on our way and blah blah blah. So there you go. Not much to say about that. So also we get to Decay, Crazy Steve, and Black Taurus, which I should have mentioned by the way. It was Decay and Decay's Crazy Steve and Black Taurus versus Johnny Swinger and Hernandez with Alicia Edwards at ringside, who is one of the basically Mama Mamarella. Something that's what Johnny Swinger called her. But yeah, but I forgot how this match was end up happening. Um, I think because Decay teleport to their Stringer Palace, which it led to the match. Because Johnny Swinger did not appreciate that. Whatever. I'm assuming that's what happened. I didn't know that was match was being made. I don't know, but it was whatever. But the match was alright though. It was alright. But Decay won, so Johnny Swinger took the loss. Yeah. And there you go. Also, Don Callis is pumping up the Good Brothers to the main event against Callahan and Moose, which we'll get to that. So the next review I will do, folks, it will be Josh Alexander defending his X Division Championship title, which that's one thing I forgot to mention too, pertains to the match before the Impact, which I'll get to that when I get to the next review. Because again, it could be TJP and Josh Alexander in the Iron Man match, 60 minutes, and the other match is going to be Jake Something versus Ray Raju in that tables match. And I can't believe this match was happening at the time, when it was announced, which I did watch, but it was still not the fondest things I wanted to watch. But it was Deaner versus Kojima. So your first match for Kojima having Impact Wrestling is against of all people Deaner that I'm not a fan of. Great. And Fire and Flavor will defend their tag titles, I should say, against Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. Basically, the rematch that they had from I can't remember. What's it against? Actually, against also it's coming up. It's coming up. The first pay per view they did. Actually, that's not the first pay per view. The second pay per view they did this year. Was it Redemption? Well, I'll listen to it later. Now, I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank. Fault. My apologies. Basically, it was, or, the point is on the rematch that they're having from the last time they had the rematch. So there you go. But that'll be the next review though. Moose and Sami Callihan versus the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. And a match I thought was pretty decent. Not saying much because I'm not fond of the Good Brothers anymore. But yeah, Moose and Callihan now get together as a team. And then it led to miscommunications in a way. And it led to the end of the day, the Good Brothers winning. And that's the match. Moose gives and Soundcat took the pinfall by the way. So in the end, Moose gets him the lights out spear, and that was it. And that was it for Impact Wrestling. From May 27th, 2021. Assuming that was the date. Let me just double check before. Okay, yeah, yes it was. Yes, it was. 4 matches were the total my wrestling, and my overall strength for the show. I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. Decent show. Not much to say about the show other than it was decent. And with that being said, thank you all for watching. As I try to play catch up, folks, it's Natural Born Driller saying peace on the streets. Take care.